Oh, num devs. This is where if I was at Riot and then if I had made this, if I had decided to name this number of devs, the next day I would have come in after I published this API and I would have been like, why did I reference this num devs when I decided to call everything else, for example, assists? Why isn't this number assists? Why isn't kills num kills? So that stuff that just happens in development. You do something, publish it, then the next day you start thinking, well, I could have done this better. And it's the same case with this application, like Styler was mentioning earlier. Yeah, we could have done a factory. We could have wrote some more elegant code. We could have followed a more defined standard, but hey, we're just coding and we're winging it. We're not preparing 10 pages of documentation explaining how we're going to do this. We're kind of just diving into the code and having some fun, playing around, learning some Angular and PHP. So in our case, there's no need to follow, one line perfectly. We need to follow a line, but we can obviously get dirty. Alright, so that's okay. So it just means that this needs to be num devs. Yeah, so Riot is getting a lot of blaming due to the sandbox mode. For a company their size, I'm not surprised. It is the most popular game in the world. It has, I forget the numbers, so many active users. Yeah, it's just so many people. You're bound to get feedback, the same feedback from a large group of your audience. To me, like, I don't care about the sandbox mode. I get enough fun just playing a game. And I think when you're playing a game, that's kind of what draws you back to playing another game. Because in this game, everything is just so dynamic that each game is going to play out different just based on everyone being skilled differently. Their skills are different, and just the amount of champions there is. Like, for each game, and if you have a bunch of different champions, I forget what's the number of combinations you can have, but because there's so many champions, each game is just going to be played out so differently, and that's, for me, that's what draws me to it. It's not like a single player game where you're just playing versus a programmer who programmed all these conditions that you already see in all these other single player games. Walk to this point, this happens. That's boring. When you're involved in playing a game versus 5 other real humans, anything could happen. It's not programmed to happen a certain way, and that's why I think they should. I think it's fine the way it is right now without the sandbox mode. If they were to open up sandbox mode, I think people will start dedicating more time to just the sandbox, and they will start making every scenario possible. Just so they can experience it, get the hype from it, feel the rush or whatever, and then they're probably not going to want to play an actual game. And I think that's what Riot is worried about, that as soon as the sandbox mode is implemented, people are going to experience everything there is to the game on their own, off to the side, as opposed to having the player stay addicted to the PvP game mode where you're fighting real humans and anything could happen, if that makes any sense. Yeah, you're right. So let's do that. Let's go back to coding here. Alright, so now that I fixed that, we should see devs. I don't think that's gonna do anything actually. Oh yeah, I did. Hey, Merc God. It's good to see you again. We're showing our match history now. So over here we got our how many kills we got, how many times we died, and our assists. I'm just gonna add a label here just to get an idea of what it's gonna look like, or what it can look like. What happened here? I'm missing. Oh, here it is. That's why it wasn't working. MMR is your rating, your performance rating when you play ranked. You get a score. So the more wins you get, the higher your MMR goes. And the amount of MMR you gain is based on the amount of MMR your opponent has. So if your opponent is higher MMR and you win, you're going to get higher MMR points. I believe tennis has a similar system. I believe that system is called ELO. But yeah, that's actually what it does stand for, matchmaking rating. Yeah, this music is just, I'm playing it from the Twitch music channel here. Monster Cat. This was recommended by Little Smith last stream. Little Smith, I haven't even seen him in the chat. It looks like he's busy tonight. But yeah, this music is free. Doesn't have a copyright, so that's why we're using it. TSM Insanity. Alright, so let's look up TSM Insanity. I don't know if I typed this right, because his name has a space. I forgot what region you're in, buddy. Yeah, I forgot your region, TSM Insanity. Do you have a software development job currently? Yes, I have a job where I kind of do similar things I'm doing here. I use Angular at work. The only difference is the backend we use Java, servlets and whatnot. So I don't use PHP at work. PHP I learned at my internship before my current job. That's the last time I used PHP. So I'm not necessarily the most advanced user when it comes to PHP. The TSM Insanity is Diamond 5. I bet he got stuck there. It's an old company. Back when the company got rolling, it made sense to use Java though, so I don't blame him for that. Nowadays, all these startups, you know, they get the opportunity to start off using something that makes more sense. So Java's not bad. Java actually scales better than PHP. The issue with Java and why it's not preferred in today's meta is because Java requires more work to set up. Obviously, you have to compile your Java code before you can publish it on your server. PHP, you don't even have to compile, so PHP wins when it comes to that. But then, what are the other languages that you don't need to compile? Yeah, so that's why Java is not preferred. It's just it requires so much to get a startup going. I agree so much, Jack. You have no idea, man. You have no idea, and I'm not gonna go into too much detail. Yeah, I see what you're saying there, GGC. I might be wrong when I said that Java scales well. I'm pretty sure someone told me that before. Okay, I got you. So Java, as far as because the Java I'm talking is just Java for the server backend. That Java like handles requests and whatnot. But yeah, I bet that if you were writing a game in Java, it would probably not perform as fast if it was written in C++ by somebody that's really expert in C++. So the difference in Java and C++ is that C++ is a very low-level language. You have to worry about your memory consumption. Java has that the trash collector where you don't have to destroy something after you use it. It handles it for you. Because C++ doesn't have that trash collector, it's completely up to you as the programmer to program all those low-level details and conditions. And when you have someone that's really good at that, at C++, then you will end up with a game that's really good. Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't done Python, but we use Python scripts at my job to do a couple things overnight. And as I said before, if my boss was ever, hey Sal, you need to write a Python script or go fix this one, it broke. My boss expects me to be able to learn how to fix that. So until that day comes, I haven't done Python. And if it does come, I'll just do the same thing I do with every other language. I'll just do my research. What are we making here? Penetrator 1990. We are making a web application using Angular, PHP, and Bootstrap. And we are making an application for a game called League of Legends. The game is made by Riot Games. Riot Games published an API that you can interface to get game-related data back. So data such as your game history, your stats. So yeah, that's what we're making. And thank you everyone that's joining in right now and that's talking in the chat. I really enjoy talking to you guys about this sort of things. So I'm going to continue here, by the way. Alright, so we're showing kills, deaths, and assists. So check this out. There was a case here where our friend sees some insanity. I bet that he didn't even die. Because this should be 0, but it's not showing anything. Oh, that's because he played against bots. He abused bots. So let's look at our array and find out why, when you never died, why isn't there just a 0 in there? It's probably because that key is not even defined. So let's check out here. Let's look at our game array, our match array. And it looks like that game where he didn't die was probably the 3rd position in the array. Was it this one? Let's look at stats. No, it's probably the next one. Number of deaths. Nope, it's not that one either. Classic bot should be position 2 in the index. How come I don't see it? Number of deaths. 8. Which game did he die 8 times? It was this one. This might be in a different order. Number of deaths done. This might be the opposite order. You know what? I don't think I was looking at the right response there. We need to look into why we got this error. We'll do that later. Alright, here we go. That should be it. Alright, here we go. So, under number of deaths, what does he have? See, that key is not even defined. So, what's going on here? If there's a game you played and you didn't die, the variable that defines how many deaths you got, it's not even defined. Sal, are you from the Bay Area? I am not. If by Bay Area, are we speaking Michigan here or like New York or something? So this is work TSM is doing. He took our project here and he added his own CSS. He added a button here, which in case someone doesn't want to hit enter on the keyboard, they can hit the button. Oh well, this is not good, TSM Insanity, because I'm pretty sure I played an A, and I'm sure my name is Sal. So yeah, TSM Insanity, something's wrong with your site, buddy. But yeah, you guys can see this is, he added a background, he's adding some color here. This is just give you an idea of what you can make the site look. DGC, yes. I'm actually close to the Detroit River, which is what, the Detroit River is what connects, what I think what's called Lake St. Clair to Lake Erie. Lake Erie is more in the south. I'm actually between Lake St. Clair and Lake Erie. And in between those two lakes, there's what we call the Detroit River that kind of just runs across Windsor, Canada, and Detroit. And I'm probably like a 10-minute drive from that river. TSM Insanity, we'll do that Thursday because we're gonna wrap it up soon. We moved really slow today, but I think we learned a lot. And today's stream is not gonna be 4 hours long like the other 7. Not tonight. I think Thursday we'll do a lot and we'll make it We'll go for as long as I can. Alright, so let's keep going here. What was I trying to do just now? When you don't die, this is not showing incorrectly because it's 0. So I need to fix that. There's a couple ways I can fix that. I can loop through that array when it comes back and check for those conditions, but that's not that optimal. Instead, I'm just going to do it in Angular in the front end. So what I do here, and it's going to make our code look a little questionable, but so whenever you have 2 curly brackets and you type code in here, this is like a JavaScript block of code. Whatever code you type in here gets rendered by the JavaScript engine. Hey Sal, mind showing the MMR on the left side of the diamond icon? Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that as soon as I finish here. I just want to show you what I'm going to do. As I was saying, whatever's inside the curly brackets, it's rendered as JavaScript code. So I can use my shorthand if and else syntax here. So this is checking for this condition. If this match.stats key champion killed, if that's defined, then I just want to use that, right? In this case, it's true. I'm just going to use it or print it out. But when it's false, I want to show 0. And that's the case where you didn't get any kills. This key is going to be missing. So we just have to force it to be 0. The same for all the other ones. So this is a lot of code just to do something simple. Well, not a lot of code, it's just that a lot of object reference. Like we had to go 2 layers down, which is not bad. But could this be done more elegantly? Yes. But I'm going to keep it simple. Alright, so watch. This is what's going to get fixed. Again, let me show you what was broken. So in this case for TSM Insanity, there was a game where he didn't die at all. That's because he played bots. Don't think that he's super good, guys. And for some reason, there's not a 0 there. And we found out that there's not a 0 there because that match.stats.number of deaths, that's not being defined at all from the API response because it's equal to 0. So what we did in the HTML is that we're just checking for a true or false condition here. And in JavaScript, when you just reference the key of that object inside this parenthesis, if this key is defined, it's just going to throw through true. If it's false, if it's not defined, it throws back false. So then if it's true, we're just going to use that variable. That's what we do right there. If it's false, we're just going to say it should be 0. So let's see if that fixes our little minor inconsistency here. Perfect. So now we have 0 there. Cool. Alright, let's keep going here. So on the left of each game, I should show the what champion they use. So let's do that next. So yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. Let's try to break that right now. Let's fix that first, gentlemen. And if there's any ladies out there, let's get to that. So, can you type on the chat a name and the region of somebody that hasn't played rank? So Mr. Babale, Mr. Baba, let me just call you that. He's our QA, and he just got back to me with, hey, this breaks when this happens. So QA wants us to fix a certain case. So let's do that right now. And let's use the JavaScript console to debug this. Hit enter. Boom, there's the error. What's going on here? Can I read property? This must be his ID. So the best way to debug this is just to click here. This error happens at line 25. Alright, so this is because league is null. So all we have to do is add a condition to check to make sure that league is not null. So let's do that in our code. This is under summoner.js. Wait, what are you trying to say there, Nolan? Did I miss something? Am I? Oh, I gotcha. Do you know what a Uper is? Is that something from here? I never heard that word.
You never used Upers?
No.
These are from the UP. They're up north.
Oh, you know I haven't been to the up north. I don't have family up north. I don't have property yet. So that's probably why I never used that word. So Blake will be a Uper, huh? Maybe? No, well, Blake never goes up north. To the UP, he does go up north.
He's been to the UP. Looks like he's from the UP.
Yeah. But yeah, I got you. Sorry I missed that there, DC. Thanks, Nolan, for pointing that out. Alright, so let's just add an if condition. Again, we just wanna... This is gonna say it's true if this is not equal to null. So now this should stop the error. We could also have done a try catch right there, but don't need for that. Ah, cool there. So we got one Michigan native. Yeah, that's awesome. The UP is beautiful. Although I haven't been there. I'm pretty sure it's beautiful. Who knows? I'll go there soon. I think the farthest north I've been is to a city called Gaylord, Michigan. And yes, there is a city called Gaylord, Michigan. Nothing funny about that, guys. We're good people here. It's a great place to camp out though, Gaylord, Michigan. So that's the farthest north I've been.
Actually, my uncle used to...
He lives there?
No, when he was in his college year back in the 70s, he used to take a snowmobile out there.
Gotcha.
So when he get there.
Cool. Alright guys, so now we're not getting that error. So the next thing I want to do is where we're displaying the person's rank and whatnot. We want to say that this person hasn't played rank at all. So for example, when it's me, how do I do that? I have here my rank, I have my name. So down here for this person, I'll say no rank data yet. And I should probably remove that image from the right. So if we go to summer.html, we can do that. Alright, so we have the NGF. So we're just gonna use another NGF here. So the NGF only displays this block of HTML code if that condition comes back as true. And we could also achieve the same thing using ng-show or hide. It's up to you as an Angular developer to choose your weapon, but that's just if there's anyone out there that knows Angular and might be thinking about asking me why I'm not using ng-show. I know for the, and here this is if you know what I'm talking about, for the Ionic framework, ng-show causes a flicker in the page when you do something. NGF doesn't for some reason, so that's why I use NGF, just because of some other framework. Alright, so let's try to show that the summoner has no rank data. We need a condition to check for that. And that condition is where summoner league equals null. You can make this whatever you want. Alright, so let's try this. Alright, so this is mine. Alright, so okay, I saw what happened there. I'll explain why that shows when you're loading. Just a minute, guys. Let me get this phone call. So yeah, I'm going to explain why we're seeing this message right here. That's because that if condition, for the time that we're waiting for the response, this condition is coming back as true, because this object is actually null. So we also need a way to hide this whole panel when we're loading the page, and we can do that next as well. So alright, that's working for me. Now let's check TSM Insanity's friend. When his details load, we can see here that now we're displaying no rank details. And in that case, we might as well hide his image on the right. We can put the same condition here to only display that image if the person has rank. So let's test if that works. So yeah, there the image is hidden, and that's what we wanted. Alright. The next thing I want to do is, I don't want to show this whole panel when we're waiting for our response. So this is how we're going to do that. Here, we're going to get a little creative too. I like doing this in Angular. Alright, so this panel, I'm going to add another NGF to it. So you guys are beginning to see how I can use Angular to like hide and show certain elements. Thanks for the Vulcan shirt mention. This is back when I liked Vulcan, when they were pretty good, and then Season 3 when they went to Worlds. Yeah, that was quite a team. And then after Worlds, they were never the same. Alright, so here I'm going to say only show this panel if the summoner.league is defined. And that gets defined only when the response is done, right here, right? Before that, we don't ever define this scope that summoner. So we go to our page, let's see if that's working. You see how we're not showing anything? And then like it's not even working. Hold on. So I messed something up here. If summoner leave. Energy of summoner leave. Okay, it should just be if summoner. Because again, if it's not leaked, then we're only gonna show it if the person has rank. So in this case for Delsin, it shows. So this is what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna get a little fancy, and here you could do your own thing eventually. So watch what I'm gonna do here. Thanks, Mark God. Thanks a lot. Alright, so cool. So we're gonna show some sort of loading effect when we're seeking for the Ajax. So I did that right there, and I'm gonna add a NG to this. And I only want to show this when the summoner object is not defined. So what I'm going to do is this exclamation mark is just saying when this summoner is false, then this condition is going to get set to true. So this is the opposite of this one, where here I'm only showing the details if the summoner variable got defined. Here I'm showing loading when the summoner variable is not defined. So this is kind of like some Boolean algebra where if you have false times false, it equals to true. So that's what the exclamation means here. This is false. And then this summoner object, because it's not defined, it's also false. I got two falses make a true, so that's why this condition gets triggered. But you don't really have to understand that. All you have to understand that is that when you add an exclamation mark in front of it, that becomes the opposite of not having an exclamation mark. So now if we go back here, see how the loading is showing, and then it disappears, and that's what we want. So now you're wondering, what does this loading dots, what is that gonna do? And this is when we're gonna get a little creative here. Let's have some fun. I'm gonna add the Angular service call interval here, and after this I'll make a commit to GitHub. So Derogative, I hope I pronounced that right. Right now our streaming schedule is Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll be back Thursday after the stream at the same time. The best way to find out when I'm streaming is to just follow me on Twitter. The link is at the bottom of the channel. Alright, so we got this interval here, so let's get a little creative. Let's do something cool. Alright, this is what we're gonna do. Alright. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at this loading dot here, and I should check for something real quick. Just a moment. So yeah, that's pretty cool. There's actually an Angular directive you can add that shows a loading bar. But yeah, TSM Insanity definitely has an eye for detail here. Our project, I told TSM, our project, I'm keeping it pretty raw and plain because I want to let it be an empty canvas for you guys so that you can create your own design. And that's really what's going to make everyone's own project different from each other. The fact that I'm leaving the project, like I said, a blank canvas is good for you guys to get creative and do some CSS. Alright, so this is what I'm going to do. So watch this. Alright, so this is what I just did, and then I'll explain it. Alright, let's make that go faster. Alright, so you guys saw that? I kind of just added some HTML animation to that loading by just adding dots to the end of the string. And the way I'm doing that is I just define an interval here. So what happens with interval is that you do something, you do some functionality every so often. In this case, I'm doing it every, let's set it to 250 milliseconds. I'm gonna look at this variable loading dots, and based on the length, I'm gonna set it equal to however many dots, almost to simulate like it's loading. You could use a GIF for this if you wanted. If you wanted to include like a loading animation of a image, a GIF, or a GIF. I think it's called a GIF file. You could do that here. All you have to do is just add an image and then in the source set it to that loading animation. But what we did here is that we're just using pretty much HTML and Angular to make it look like it's you know, something cool. Yeah, TSM Insanity. You can do that. She'll link the title back to the home page. She'll link the title back to the home page. I'm not too sure what you mean by that. I'll be right back, guys. 2 seconds here. So yeah, we could add this to the homepage. It'll just be the same logic almost. A little more complicated though. I do hope that after you see how I did it in this case, you should be able to do the same or copy my code and add it to the front end. But that could be homework. If you guys solve that, it's gonna help you feel good about this whole thing, which is we actually learning how to use Angular and PHP. So I'll leave that for homework if it's something you want to do. And then if you don't have it done by Monday, I'll show you. Alright, cool. And I think the last request someone said was to show the MMR. We can do that. Let's see here. Response, lead, running solo. Is the MMR in here by any chance, guys? I'm not too sure where's the MMR. Is there another API call for that? Because I know in some cases MMR, other sites, they just kind of have their own algorithm to calculate it. Guys, I'm going to be ending in about 5 minutes here. I think this is a good place to stop. We'll be back Thursday, same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And we will definitely have an extra hour in Thursday stream. So I'm going to commit. But the last time I did research for MMR, I came to the conclusion that it's something you have to calculate on your own. Yeah. Alright guys, I'm making a commit. Alright guys, I committed to GitHub and that's pushed out. The last couple minutes of the stream, I'm gonna open it up for any questions before I head out. I'm gonna play one game of League before I call it a night. If you guys want to play with me, just add me. If you're in North America, my in-game name is simply Sal, S-A-L. And we'll play one game before I go to bed. But yeah, when you take a look at what we've done, it looks like we didn't do much, but I think we learned a lot. And what we did today, Thursday, we're gonna move a lot quicker, because we're basically just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna look at the object, we're gonna look at the properties and the keys in the object, and we're just gonna link it to the HTML using Angular curly brackets here, and that should be pretty simple. You guys should understand by now how I'm doing that. Basically, this summoner needs to be bind to the scope service. That's the only way I get things from the controller to the HTML. Yep, I'll log in to League right now. I'm not gonna stream the match because my ping shoots up quite a lot. Or who knows, maybe stream it for a little bit. So yeah guys, let me know if you guys have any questions before I wrap it up. Again, I already committed to the GitHub repository. Yeah, so we'll do that Thursday. TSM Insanity, I'm gonna try to stimulate your brain here again of how to come up with your own solution. You see here on summoner.html, the case where here, if you had no deaths or kills, that key was never defined in the object, like champion skill. If that was 0, this will not be part of the stats. And here I'm just doing an if condition. So this will be similar for if you want to change the way this is labeled. You're just gonna check where did I do this? Game mode. No, I'll tell you what we'll do Thursday for sure. We're gonna do the same thing we do here, like pre-filtering, where we rearrange the object. We're gonna have to loop through the matches and change some things around. It's gonna be similar to this. It's gonna be like this. So So here, I'm definitely gonna define this Thursday. I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna commit this, and then I'm just gonna loop through each game in the match, and then I'm gonna do if conditions for each game mode. Like I'm gonna check for match.game mode if it's equal to rank underscore whatever solo underscore 5v5. I'm gonna set a new variable equal to a more elegant way to display that. So yeah, we'll get to that on Thursday. I'm sorry that I can't show you right now, because if I literally start doing this, it's gonna take at least 10 minutes, maybe 15 to explain it well. So let's just wait for Thursday, TSM Insanity. That being said, I think we're good. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter in case I do decide to cancel, or if I reschedule a stream, or if I do an extra stream, I'll always send out a tweet. Regardless though, I will be here on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So until then, you guys have a great time tomorrow and Thursday. So yeah, until next time, friends. See you guys later.